Well, hello and welcome to Outdoor Oklahoma. I'm Todd Craighead. This is a special edition we're bringing you from my living room today. And like many of you, I've been doing my best to social distance all the while trying to, deal with this worldwide pandemic of COVID-19. Honestly, life has been a little bit of a challenge, and today I'm in fact even shooting all this video all throughout my house on cell phones. We at the Wildlife Department want to make sure that you understand that we're doing our best to make certain that it's business as usual, or in this situation, unusual. So today I'm going to be video chatting with several of my coworkers all across the state and find out how they're coping with this new reality that we have, all the while making certain that Oklahoma's outdoors are always open. Well, hi Rod, how you doing?
Doing well, and you?
I'm making do. I'm in my new home office, which is my dining room, and I see like you're kind of doing the same thing.
I think we're all in a little different places than normal for our offices, but it's working.
Down in the southwest part of the state, you've got several folks that you oversee and supervise on wildlife management areas. What's life like for your folks right now on a WMA?
Well, generally, it's fairly normal. Our guys that work in the field are out there managing habitat and monitoring turkey season and that kind of thing. So a whole lot of their job is fairly normal. Of course, we're taking a few precautions, not shaking hands and that kind of thing. So there's some adjustments here and there, but overall it's pretty much work as usual.
You've been at the Wildlife Department now 42 plus years, right?
That's right. That's a long time, isn't it? I must be old.
And you've seen our agency deal with a lot of different things over your career. How is this situation and social distancing, how is it different this time than anything else that we've ever dealt with as an agency?
It is different, but it's not that different. Our jobs are outdoors, and it's dealing with people outdoors that are all naturally spaced as hunters, and it's dealing with habitat work that's a lot of times those guys are all by themselves all day. So in a lot of regards, it's not a big difference.
Well, Rod, I have one last thing for you because you're kind of one of my turkey hunting mentors. I got a brand new box call. Let me know if you think this would be good enough to pull in a bird from southwest Oklahoma.
Okay. Well, Todd, do you want the truth?
Yeah, as much as it's going to hurt.
Actually, that's a pretty sweet call. I think it would work.
Well, that's good to hear. Maybe before all this is done, I can get down there and join you on a turkey hunt. I'd love that.
Well, I hope you get to get out and enjoy the outdoors.
Well, hey, Cliff, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Todd.
Now, I've been to your office, and that doesn't look anything like your office. Where are you?
No, I've actually taken over what used to be called the kids' cave at our house, our upstairs playroom, and that's been commandeered to be Dad's new office, away from the office. Whenever I'm able to do as much as I can, so I've got my computer screens and everything set up here. I've even got the microscope in the back where I've been able to look at some of our fish samples and aging some of our fish. So we've, I've just kind of moved all the stuff that I needed to the house, and I just rent this property now from my kids.
What's it like now being at home so much and having your kids right there with you? Are you involving them in any way, or do they see you differently now since they see you actually working?
If somebody asks my kids, what does your dad do for work? A lot of the times they say fishing, because that's what they hear me talking about. Now I'm fishing with electrofishing boat or nets to sample a lot of our fish populations, but they think Dad fishes. And so now that I brought the microscope home, or they've come up and seen me doing some data entry, I've even involved them in some of those things. They're seeing that Dad's job's a little bit more sciencey than what they thought it might have been. So that answer may be changing to Dad actually does a little bit of little bit of science in and amongst all the fishing that he gets to do.
You're still having to do some field work, I'm sure. So how has that changed now in light of our current situation?
You know, a couple of the projects that I'm involved with at the Durant State Fish Hatchery, where I office out of, big part of what the hatchery does there, and their primary focus is Florida bass production. And so a few weeks ago, we were able to transfer those fish, although we had to follow different procedures. We had to limit the amount of staff that we used. We worked a little bit longer hours to get it done because we didn't have as many hands as what we normally have. But we were able to get that work done. So those fish are out and they're in the ponds and they're spawning now. So we'll have, you know, on average, we stock about 1.4, 1.5 million of these fingerling Florida bass all over the state of Oklahoma. So we've started that process. That work is continuing at the hatchery. On the regional stuff that I do in management for lakes, we're still getting out and doing our fish samples that we do this time of year.
I know Oklahoma's anglers are very happy to hear that it's business as usual.
That's the thing. We all love the outdoors. We all love the resources that we're responsible for. So we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we continue that work and continue to make sure that our resources are well managed.
You know, working from home does have its perks. I mean, I already like to spend a lot of time in my garage tinkering with my hunting and fishing gear, and now I just have a little extra time to do that. You know, after visiting with Rod and Cliff, we now know that for Wildlife and Fisheries Division, it's pretty much business as usual. But what about our game wardens? Next, I'm going to talk with Drew Polk and Joe Alexander and find out how this pandemic is affecting their work. You're pretty pixelated, but that's because you're probably pretty remote in far southeast Oklahoma.
I am. I'm up in the northern end of McCurtain County. It's hard to find good quality Wi-Fi in the middle of the Ouachita Mountains.
You know, right now you probably have seen an influx of visitors to southeast Oklahoma. It's kind of ironic that we're being told to practice social distancing, and you're probably seeing a whole lot more people than normal right now.
As far as fishing goes, it has increased quite a bit due to the mass exodus out of Texas to the Ouachita area. I mean, we have close to 3,000 rental cabins in the Ouachita area, just north of Broken Bow. That's close to Broken Bow Lake, of course. So, what better place to go to social distance than Broken Bow Lake and the Ouachita Mountains?
Absolutely. So, as a game warden, how does that complicate matters for you right now, and how are you learning to adapt?
We like to interact with our sportsmen and our general public and see how they're doing, see how their fishing's going, be able to shake hands with somebody. And I'm a handshaker, so it's hard for me to walk up and not give my howdy doos to everybody. So we're having to keep our distance and really focus on everyone's health. And so we don't even have to go up to somebody. We can actually say, hey, can you look on your license and give me your customer ID? Or if you have an old license, or if you just have a name and date of birth, we can look you up at a distance. So we don't actually have to make contact with the public for our compliance checks, which actually works really well for both the sportsman and the game warden.
Well, it sounds like you're adapting quite well.
This social distancing, I think, has actually been a blessing as far as being able to get outdoors and interact with family, slow your life down just a little bit, and enjoy the simple things in life.
Keep after it, stay safe, and hopefully I'll get to shake your hand again soon sometime.
I hope so, because I sure like to shake hands.
Tell me, how are things in the far northeast part of the state?
Well, Todd, things are kind of like normal other than the virus situation that we find ourselves in today.
You're supervising several other wardens in northeast Oklahoma. What's their temperature? How are they handling all this?
You know, our guys are still in the field. They're still working. They're still, making contact with folks. And if anything, they see a lot more individuals out utilizing the resources right now, Todd. There's a lot more fishermen out, a few more turkey hunters and that sort of thing. it's about the same as it was. There's just a few more things we do. For instance, we utilize a lot of hand sanitizer. We carry masks with us now all the time, and of course we utilize these nice latex gloves, whenever we have contact with the public and that sort of thing. And I think the public understand and know that everybody's trying to take their precautions and take this, this whole thing seriously. But we're definitely seeing a lot more folks out on our wildlife management areas and things like that are taking advantage of this time of the year and this circumstance that we find ourselves in to really get out there and enjoy what the outdoors has to offer.
Most of us at the Wildlife Department have a relatively narrow scope of things that we're responsible for. But our director, J.D. Strong, has the well-being and responsibility for the entire agency. So now we're going to visit with him and find out how this pandemic is affecting the Wildlife Department as a whole. As our director, looking at it from the 30,000 foot view kind of thing, what have been some of those unique challenges to try to keep us operational and keep us going?
Wow, that's a great question. There's just a huge laundry list of things. I think we can all affirm that we did not have a playbook for this when COVID-19 hit. And so in so many ways, we've just been figuring things out as we go. Figuring out how to stay in communication with employees has been a new challenge. Before, you can't just walk up from the desk and go to somebody else's desk and have a little chit chat and get answers. And so, there's probably a list of, I could probably write a book, in fact, on challenges that we've faced and how we've learned to cope with them over the past month and a half.
As I see it, from my perspective, it's very much business as usual. I mean, we're still doing everything that we would normally be doing this time of year, from hatcheries to wildlife management areas to law enforcement, but we're just trying to, I guess, find a way to do it differently.
You're absolutely right, Todd. I mean, springtime is probably the busiest time of year for our agency, with spring turkey hunting rolling around and fishing very popular, and it's kicking in high gear right now. So a lot of demands on our agency, and yes, everybody has adapted well to these challenges, and I'm not aware of anything that's really not getting addressed out there. It's just being addressed in new and unique ways.
As the director, not only do certain obvious responsibilities fall on your shoulders, but your attitude also kind of sets the tone for the agency. So how are you helping or working at trying to keep the morale up in a stressful time?
Good question. Well, whether it's COVID or not COVID, we face stress and adversity from time to time. And I've always thought it's important to increase communication during those situations, increase transparency, make an extra effort to reach out to people, add a little extra humor to the day. I think I've always been a big fan of keeping humor in the mix, because that really just sort of helps bring some needed levity to any situation. And boy, we need a huge dish of humor now more than ever. So I think just some of those things, being much more purposeful about setting up opportunities. We started 3 or 4 weeks ago a Wednesday morning coffee hangout with staff. All of our staff are invited to attend, and we've regularly had 80 to 90 to almost 100 people jump on those Wednesday morning coffees. No agenda, informal opportunity. It's just sort of replacing the water cooler at the office. And it's just great for people to be able to get together and be able to see each other and interact and talk about how they're coping with the challenges that are out there.
If there was a good timing to have a global pandemic, springtime in Oklahoma was the best timing for us to be in the perfect position to provide tremendous opportunities.
everything is budding and popping out there right now. And there's just all kinds of activity out in outdoor Oklahoma, and people need to get out there and experience it now more than ever. We were worried about decreases in activity, decreases in license sales, that sort of thing. We've actually seen the opposite. I think people, as they're looking for ways to break the monotony of cabin fever and being locked up with their family more so than they've ever been before, and looking for learning opportunities for their kids and that sort of thing, we've seen an uptick in people using our public land, fishing our public waters across the state. And I think, we're going to see a whole new generation of hunters and anglers in Oklahoma come out of this. So what could be better in our line of work than to witness something like that happening?
JD did mention that we're seeing an increase in activity as people are finding more time to get out and do things like hunting and fishing. And as you know, what better way to practice social distancing than in the great outdoors? But I'm curious to know how one of our most popular areas in the state, the Blue River Public Fishing and Hunting Area, is faring with all this increased activity. So let's just chat with the area manager, Matt Gamble. Hey Matt, how are you?
I'm doing well, Todd. How are you?
Now, you're the manager of the Blue River Public Fishing and Hunting Area in south central Oklahoma. How has all this COVID-19 and virus affected you?
Probably the biggest difference. April is usually a downtime for us. Trout season has ended. People are beginning to transition to crappie and bass and different, it's getting warmer, so people are going to lakes, and we get a little bit of a downtime so that we're able to, concentrate on fixing roads or doing things that don't affect a big crowd of people. So this COVID-19 has really given us a big uptick in traffic that we wouldn't normally have in April. We are getting a lot of emails, messages through our Facebook account, phone calls asking if we're open.
Now, would you have any recommendations for folks right now that are maybe planning a trip to come down to Blue River?
We are open. We're open for business as usual. I would just strongly advise people to maintain social distancing. If you want to camp with members of your household or people that you're comfortable with, make sure that you're doing it away from other large groups. We don't want a huge grouping of people in some of the bigger camping areas. So if you could spread out, that would really help the situation. There's a lot of river that you can explore where you'll be the only person around. So it's a really great place to come to your social distancing.
I think it's already been said, but if there was ever a perfect time to deal with a global pandemic in Oklahoma, well, it'd be the springtime. In fact, myself, I've had the opportunity to get out and do a little turkey hunting, and been able to get one myself and take a couple friends out and help them get birds as well. Whether you're hunting, fishing, or bird watching, now is the perfect time to get outside and appreciate it. Now let's visit with wildlife biologist Matt Fullerton and see how people are taking advantage of this opportunity to get involved in citizen science. You're a wildlife biologist, but you have a very specific area of focus.
That's right. So what I do in my job is I'm focused mainly on threatened and endangered species, and I'm one of a small group of biologists that's part of the Wildlife Diversity Program. So we're the program that manages, monitors, and tracks non-game species that are not hunted or fished.
And one of the ways you do that is you sometimes involve the public in that too, right?
That's right. So yeah, so what we call citizen scientists, and so these are people in the public that help us track species observations through various platforms. And people, we have a rare species reporting form on our website at wildlifedepartment.com, and then also we have a really cool platform called iNaturalist.
Tell me more about that. Now, you do this thing called a virtual BioBlitz. Is that what it's called?
That's right. So it's actually overseen by the Oklahoma Biological Survey, which is housed in the University of Oklahoma, which is one of our really strong partners in conservation. And so they have this event for the last couple of years during the entire month of April. It's called the Virtual BioBlitz. And so people can basically go around anywhere in Oklahoma. They can make an observation through a program called iNaturalist, and you can download this app on your phone, and you can basically take a picture of really any plant or animal, and you don't even have to know what it is. There's people on there that can tell you and help you identify what that species is.
Man, what perfect timing in this time of social distancing and also encouraging people to get out. They can actually be a part of all this right now.
You can just take a stroll in your neighborhood, and if you see just some backyard birds, like, if you see a robin land in the yard, you could snap a photo of it, and that can count toward this virtual BioBlitz event going on right now. So it's just a great way for families to get out just in their backyard and just enjoy the biodiversity that's living just right close to their homes.
And be a part of something bigger than just themselves.
Oh, it's great. And it really helps our program out in ODWC, because this is a great way for us to track and monitor rare and declining species. There's a lot of species that, we don't have the ability to really go out to all these different places, when they're active. And so this is really where people can really help to contribute to that data and monitoring for these species.
I appreciate your time today. Take care, and we'll hopefully get to see you soon.
Well, you too, Todd. Stay safe.
Okay, let's see. That's our... Oh yeah, one more. It looks like Kelly Adams, and she's already on here. Hey Kelly. Hey, all the cameras are already recording, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Now, you're in my same division, information and education, and we both worked out of the central office, but mostly on a computer. Is your job really all that much different on a day-to-day basis now?
My job isn't that much different. As the multimedia specialist, I do spend a lot of my time behind the computer working on developing content and pushing it out through our communication outlets. So no, not much has changed, just what I wear to work, I guess.
Yeah, me too. Have you seen an uptick really in participation through social media since people have a lot more time on their hands?
Our engagement on all of our social media platforms has been through the roof. We have a captive audience right now. People are at home, they're wanting to get outside, they're wanting to know how they can get outside, and we're definitely here to help them.
Well, speaking of that, have we made certain types of posts that help people really connect with the outdoors while doing social distancing?
We're spending a lot of our time on social media trying to promote that the outdoors are always open and that people can get outside, enjoy some fresh air, all while social distancing. And we're also using social media to inspire people to learn something new, like how to clean a turkey, how to tie a knot. We're also encouraging people to try new game and fish recipes.
Well, it's been fun I'm a part of that team too, and it's been fun to see how we're really in a perfect position to help promote the outdoors to possibly a brand new audience.
Oh, definitely. And I've seen people who are new to the outdoors connect with us on our social media pages. And it's really made my heart feel warm to be able to help these people buy a license for the first time or celebrate their first crappie or first turkey with them and share that to the world.
Well, Kelly, I miss you. We office about 15 feet apart, and I haven't seen you for, almost a couple months now, but you be safe out there, and we'll hopefully get to see you soon.
Thanks, Todd. I miss you too.
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode from my home and in my garage as I've been interviewing co-workers in their home offices and even in their trucks. These are trying times that we're dealing with today, but I'm thankful to know that the outdoors are always open. That makes all this just a whole lot easier. As we close today, I remember a video that I saw that was shared to the Wildlife Department's Facebook page of a family that was really making the most of this time and enjoying the outdoors. And I think I'm just going to close with that. So for all of us at your Wildlife Department, I'm Todd Craighead, and we'll see you right back here next time on Outdoor Oklahoma.
Welcome to Wildlife with Wade. You first have to have a stick. We're trying to actually catch a crawdad, so you first need a stick, string, waiter, and bacon. Now you have to throw it in. and then wait. So you have to have a helper and you have to have a net. But if you feel it on there, you have to do the right stuff.
Hold on, Sissy. Do you have one?
Yep. And look, if you put him right on the back, he cannot pinch you.
Tell us what you got here.
We got 9 of them right now.
You're gonna release them?
Yeah, we are. Always fun to catch and release. So you first have to get really, you gotta get really careful and just throw them right back in. So another one doesn't pinch you. So let's actually just do one more.